Hi everyone, I'm Solvi, and for today's video we are going to be doing a speed paint in Procreate of some original sci-fi character concept art. As you can see, I started out with a gray base and I'm just laying out my flat colors. I decided to go with a primary color scheme, so the yellow bodysuit, the blue hair, and the red lighting on the wires and tubes around her head. I didn't have a plan necessarily for this piece. I just sort of let the drawing do its thing, just drew whatever came to mind, and it ended up working really well. You know how sometimes you sit down and the drawing just comes out exactly how you want it to? I got lucky this time and things just went really smoothly. Right now I'm adding some adjustment layers, adding highlights, sort of playing with contrast and my values without messing up the base colors underneath. You can see that I'm kind of experimenting with like what kind of elements I want to include on her bodysuit. You can also see that I'm avoiding working on the helmet because my sketch is kind of vague, so that's going to be harder. I always end up doing the face first because it's my favorite part, and then I leave the shoes until the very end. Those will not be done until the literal last moments of this video, as per usual. So I'm just cleaning things up, carving out more defined shapes and shadows and everything. You can see I'm starting to add some heavier shadows now, again just blocking things in and cleaning things up. I'm just using the Procreate default rectangle paintbrush. It's my favorite brush. And then I'm using a sort of, soft fuzzy brush to blend things together, smooth things over. I think that lately I've been trying to find a good balance between using the airbrush a little but not overdoing it, Some blending is good, so trying to find where to keep hard edges, where to have soft edges, for example. I've also been experimenting with leaving my sketch layer lines in the final piece. So in this piece, for example, I paint over my sketch, but I let some of the sketch lines still shine through to the final piece. You can see some of that in her bodysuit. I usually sketch in pink or red, so sometimes letting those lines shine through gives my work a little bit more life and movement. I think sometimes I over-render and my work gets kind of stiff, so I'm trying to leave the sketch and keep things loose, not get too tight or too stiff. You can see that I finally started on the helmet. I actually really love rendering metal. I like doing reflective surfaces in general, but metal is really fun because it's so high contrast. For me, the challenging part of the helmet was just the geometry of it, You have all these metal pieces, but they have to be, curved to fit around her head, but there's all these tubes coming out. Again, this is something that I didn't really plan, so I don't know if this helmet would make a lot of sense in real life, but I think it looks pretty cool, and I think I got the geometry to be convincing enough. So at this point, we're mostly doing finishing touches. I still have to render the wings. I'm still working on those shoes, just like I promised. Again, all of these little details that really kind of bring the final composition together. Finally finishing up those shoes. And again, I'm just doing a couple last minute adjustments on the color and saturation. And here she is. I haven't come up with a name for her yet, so if you have any ideas for what she might be called, drop them in the comments below. I would love to hear. And let me know what you think. Thank you so much for watching.